Just listen, okay? Just listen. Chapter 2. Dink raced into the book nook. That's the bookstore. Josh and Ruth Rose were right behind him. They found 3 seats behind Tommy Tomko and Eddie Carini. So these are 2 new people, okay? Dink plopped his backpack on the floor. The clock over the cash register said 3 minutes after 11. Where is he? Dink whispered to Tommy Tomko. Tommy turned around. Beats me, he's not here yet. And Mr. Paskey looks worried. What's going on? Ruth Rose said. Dink told her and Josh what Tommy said. Paskey does look pretty nervous, Josh whispered. Mr. Paskey always looks nervous, Dink whispered back, looking around the room. He saw about 30 kids he knew. Mrs. Davis, Dink's neighbor, was looking at the gardening books. Dink checked out the other grown-ups in the store. None of them looked like a famous mystery writer. Mr. Paskey stood up. Boys and girls, welcome to Book Nook. Wallace should be here any second. How many of you have books that you would like to be autographed? Everyone waved their book in the air. Wonderful! I'm sure Wallace will be happy to know that Green Lawn is a reading town. The kids clapped and cheered. Dink glanced at the clock. 11:05. He swallowed, trying to stay calm. Wallace is late. But it was only by 5 minutes. Slowly, 5 more minutes passed. Dink felt his palms getting damp. Where is Wallace, he wondered. Some of the kids started getting restless. Dink heard one say, whenever I'm late, I get grounded. So where is he? Josh asked. Ruth Rose looked at her watch. It's only 10 after, she said. Famous people are always late. Now Dink stared at the clock. That big hand jerked forward, paused, then wobbled forward again. At 11:15, Mr. Paskey stood up again. I don't understand why Wallace is late, he said. Dink noticed that his bald head was shiny with sweat. His bow tie was getting a workout. Mr. Paskey smiled bravely, but his eyes were blinking like crazy through the thick glasses. Shall we give him a few more minutes? The crowd grumbled, but nobody wanted to go anywhere. Ruth Rose started to read her book. Josh opened his sketch pad and began drawing Mr. Paskey. Dink turned and stared at the window. He mentally ordered Wallace to walk through this door. You have to come, Dink thought. So here's Mr. Paskey. Oh. So let's see, there's the lady looking at gardening books. Mr. Paskey. Some more boys that are waiting. They don't look very happy, do they? Ever since he received Wallace's letter, he thought about only one thing, meeting him today. Suddenly, Dink felt his heart skip a beat. The letter! Short of being kidnapped, the letter said nothing will stop him from coming. Kidnapped? Dink shook himself. Of course Wallace hadn't been kidnapped. Mr. Paskey stood again, but this time he wasn't smiling. I'm sorry, kids, he says, but Wallace doesn't seem to be coming after all. The kids groaned. They got up, scraping their chairs and bumping knees. Mr. Paskey apologized to them as they crowded past, headed for the door. I've read every single one of his books, Dink heard Amy Fowler tell another girl. Now I'll probably never meet anyone famous. I can't believe we gave up soccer to come to this, Tommy Tomko muttered to Eddie Carini on their way out. Ruth Rose and Josh went next, but Dink remained in his seat. He was too stunned to move. He felt like the letter through his jeans. Short of being kidnapped. Finally, Dink got up and walked out. Josh and Ruth were waiting for him. What's the matter? Ruth Rose says. You look sick. I am sick, Dink mumbled. I invited him here. It's my fault. What's all your fault? Josh asked. This, he said, thrusting the letter into Josh's hands. Wallace has been kidnapped. So we're going to stop there. We're going to talk a little bit about how we as mystery readers try to solve crimes.